time, weather, and always glass.
Breath control and bad decisions. It's our game. With Gen X and Salty J, we'll shout it loud. A celebration of life. Come join the crowd.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Breath Control and Bad Decisions. I'm Salty J and we have here,
I'm Gen X.
and today we're going to talk about how we survived not having airbags, GPS, or any of the technology that we have today. Now kids have lane assist, backup cameras, blind spot monitoring, GPS, collision avoidance, emergency braking, and a car that practically files their taxes while they're driving them to Starbucks.
Mm-hmm.
Although my kids don't have that because I bought them older cars.
Yeah, those are all good things. Like we're not being dismissive of that. That's as generations, as things evolve, things get better. Safety things get better, right? But for us, it was like, here's your map that's folded 800 times. Bon voyage.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, at
I'm
least
going back just thinking about it.
We know how to read maps because of that, honestly. And we know how to read directions. I mean, I don't mean like handwritten directions. I mean north, south, east, west. Like we know how to navigate that because that's how we grew up driving.
Well, so I grew up a little bit different because Tallahassee was kind of small still at the time. So it would be like, go about a mile down, take a left at the junior food store, look for a big pine tree, take a right. There's a broke down fire truck, take a left there. So when I moved to Orlando...
to be fair, I still give directions like that.
I missed those directions. When I moved to Orlando, I got lost like the first day and they were like, head north. And I'm like, okay, which way's north? And they're like, oh God. Yeah. So...
They do that here. They do that. I am not used to the giving people directions of, oh, you go east, then you go north. And I'm like, no. Do I go left or right, motherfucker? Like, I don't understand giving directions that way. It's, do I turn left at the McDonald's or do I go straight? Do not give me, well, you turn north out of here and then you proceed that. No. That's not what I mean. When I say give me directions, I mean give me actual directions. Yes, we can understand north, south, east, west directionally on a compass when we're looking at something. And I'm like, you go, well, that's north. Obviously, we're going to go north. But we don't give directions that way. But people here, and I live in Kansas City, that is how they give directions. And it seems to be a very specific to this area because I've had people who visit and I've said they give directions directionally here and it's weird, and somebody who is not from here said that is weird, why do you do that? And Eric's response was, well, because it's a river town. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. I've lived in a river town before. I lived in Cincinnati on the Ohio River. That is not how we give directions. I don't understand. That doesn't make sense to me. Left or right, or straight, that's all I know.
And sadly, every once in a while, I still hold both of my hands out to see which one makes a L with my pointer finger and thumb.
That's funny.
Yep. Like, wait a second. Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, that way.
Oh, goodness.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Yep.
We didn't have anybody tracking our locations. Our car didn't track our locations. Our car didn't tell us how to turn or which way to go. Some of us we were AAA members. We go to AAA, get a trip tick before we go on
Those
a trip.
things were awesome.
They were. Or you had the folded map. The folded map of, okay, figure out how you're going. When I started traveling on my own, I got a little bit older. My dad taught me to city hop, which is, let's say, so from me, when I was heading down to see them in Hilton Head and I was traveling from Cincinnati, I would take 75 and then I would look at the signs to see what direction, what city I was going to. So like I knew Spartanburg, South Carolina, I knew I was heading that direction, so I would follow the highway signs that had that direction. So it was more, I learned how to city hop, versus knowing you take 71 south or 75 east. Like, I knew that was the direction, right? But when you're on a highway and it'll split, and you've got a 75 south that goes this way, and then you've also got a 75 south that goes this way, but from another exit. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I learned how to city hop, and I still rely on that now. If something happens and the GPS goes out, or I'm just not using GPS for whatever reason, I'm like, I can just city hop. That's easy enough to do.
I don't think I've ever heard of city hopping.
Yeah.
I'm today years old when I learned about it.
Yeah, that's what he called it. I'm like, that
I
makes
like
sense.
it.
Like, he explained it in a way that made a lot of sense to me. So when you're looking at a highway sign and you see Atlanta or Jacksonville, and you have to head through Jacksonville to get where you're going, then your brain's going to go, up, I got to go towards Jacksonville. So I'm going to follow the sign towards Jacksonville.
What was your first car?
My first car was a 1983 Mustang LX, and it was a total piece of shit. It is why I've owned nothing. It is why I've owned nothing but Toyotas ever since. Owning a Mustang in the 80s was not a good time to own Mustangs.
Gotcha.
It's not when they were. That's not when they were the best. My car spent so much time on the back of a tow truck that when my mom would call Gray's Towing and identify herself, they would go,
Where's she at?
where is Jennifer's Mustang now? That is how they would respond. So my car spent
That's
most of its
horrible.
life on the back of a tow truck, and I finally after 4 years, I think, because it was only 5 years old when I got it. I got it in 1988. So it was only 5 years old. Now, I drive a vehicle that's almost 20 years old now, and prior to that, I drove my Toyota Highlander till it was well over 338,000 miles, and the transmission started to slip again. And I had already put a transmission in it, and this was 12 years later, it started to slip again. We were like, all right, time for another truck. And that truck was used when I got it, and that vehicle's a 2008. So I had a 5-year-old Mustang that was a bigger piece of shit than any vehicle I've ever owned ever since.
My dad, he started me out. It was a 1972 Chevy truck. It was black. It was all dented up. It had all different rims on it. And to take the driver's test, we had to go to like AutoZone and buy side mirrors to put on it so I could go take my driver's test.
Oh, so you could go take your test. Yeah, because you need mirrors.
Yeah.
Do you remember when cars didn't come with 2 mirrors?
No, I thought they all came with them.
No, there are cars that only came with the driver's side mirror.
Oh, well, when I went to take my driver's test, the guy said, "Can you parallel park this thing?" And I go, "Yeah, hold on." So I parked it, and he said, "Okay, honey, you don't even have to take the rest of the test. You passed." And so I go in, and my dad's like, "My God, how bad did you fail?" Because I was only out there for like 30 seconds, and I was like, I think that guy was scared that he was going to blow up in the truck. Like, but
I can't imagine parallel parking in a vehicle without power steering, because if you don't have power steering, if you drive past something, you're like, well, I'll see you next week. I'm not turning around.
Yeah, this thing, we named it Ace Bound, and Ace was the local junkyard. So it was junkyard bound. It got like 7 miles to the gallon, and that's if you were going like downhill with a hurricane behind you. Like,
yeah. I don't know. I did not get great gas mileage on my car. It did not have air conditioning in it, and the interior was black, so that was fun. And of course, being 17, 18 years old, I decked it out with a stereo that was worth more than the car and rims that were worth more than the car. And I made it look a lot better than it was, because I was like, well, it's a total piece of shit, but I at least want to be able to enjoy, looking at it, or it has to look nice when it's on the back of the tow truck.
there you go. Yeah. Well, then I went to a 1984 Honda Prelude. It was red, and that felt like going from like a farm tractor to a spaceship. Like, it was
Oh, I can imagine.
a whole different. And it was a stick shift. Learning to drive the stick shift was fun too.
Yeah. My second car after the Mustang, my Mustang was an automatic, just because that's the car, but it was a used car, and it was an automatic, and that was the car I wanted, and it passed everything, and so I got that. But My car after that was I bought a 1990, 1990, 1991. I bought it brand new. It was a Toyota Celica, and it was a 5-speed, and oh god, I love that fucking thing.
I always wanted a Celica. I'm jealous.
I love that. Oh, I love that car. I love that thing. And it was
Those cars are
color.
badass.
The color was it was called Aquamarine Pearl. It was like a blue, teal, green. It was really pretty. It was a really pretty color. And um they had another car on the lot that they couldn't sell. They called it the Lost Leader, and because it was powder blue, but it was also an automatic. And I didn't want it because it was an automatic. I'm like, this is a sports car. I don't want an automatic sports car. That's stupid. So I sacrificed air conditioning because and it was powder blue. I didn't want a powder blue car. I sacrificed air conditioning to get the 5-speed and a pretty color because I didn't want a powder blue automatic sports car. So I also did not have air conditioning in that Celica. I did not have air conditioning for the first 10 years of my driving life, and it sucked. It sucked hard.
So I always ended up not having it too at first, and living in Florida, it was pretty bad. You know, you had to just roll the windows down, open the sunroof, and drive as fast as you could.
Yeah, exactly.
Pray you don't hit a red light.
That's right. Be like,
as you're
go
suffocating.
on. Come on, I'm dying over here.
Oh, I didn't even remember that till you brought it up. Like
It
you would get in,
you'd get ready for work, and then by the time you got to work, you'd be like, all right, I'm a gross, sweaty mess.
Oh my God, it was like oppressive. You get in and you can't breathe. And if you have black leather seats, even if you have blue jeans, your legs burn through the blue jeans. Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like, and I did the same thing when I got the Camaro, because the Camaro was black on black, and it was 68, so it had no air conditioning in it either. And I was like, you are an idiot. You are never going to be able to drive this thing in the summer. And I couldn't. I'm like, it's too fucking hot. It's too goddamn hot.
Who taught you to drive a 5-speed?
My brother and one of my brother's friends. They took turns because it took me, you know, that delicate balance of clutch, accelerator, getting out of first gear. I could do that, but when I was on a hill, so we had a small hilly area a little hill in our neighborhood on one of the side streets. So I wasn't out in like public learning on the hill. They took me to one of the streets that went uphill, and so I learned that balance to do it on, because I had a friend who was learning, and she was out in actual public on a hill, and they actually had to put the car neutral, put the brake up, and they had to switch sides so he could move it off of them because she couldn't get it, and she was terrified.
My dad started me, and my dad had a bad temper, and you know, he was like 6'3", bipolar, and and so we get to a stop sign. I don't have a driver's license. My Prelude was not registered yet. Like, we had taken possession of it from the record service, and a police officer pulls up and stops behind me at the stop sign. So the first time I tried to go, it like just kind of jumped and went but and cut off, you know. So Dad was like, fucking go. So I started again. And I really gave it gas, and it like span out. It goes like, I cross over the intersection. The lights cut on behind me immediately. So I pull into a gas station, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to jail. I don't even have a driver's license, and I don't own this car yet. And oh my God. And my dad gets out. I see him pointing, laughing, and then comes back to the car. And he told me I had to take you up to the community college and teach you that we have to get off these roads. Yeah. And so luckily he didn't ask for my driver's license or anything, but I was pretty sure that was the first time I was going to jail.
Well, do you remember the anxiety of sitting at a red light with a stick shift when you were first really learning how to drive it, and praying to God you didn't stall it when the light turned green?
Hell yeah. Or the hills. Tallahassee has so many hills, and I was always scared I was going to roll back and hit somebody.
Yeah.
And
that's that public humiliation where you're just like, okay, all right, I'm on a hill. Like, I'm so glad my neighborhood had that hill so I could learn how to do that. I got to a point where I could just I just I could keep it steady with accelerator and clutch. I didn't even have to put my foot on the brake, because I after a while I was able to just balance that. But I mean, I didn't do that every time, obviously. But that that oh my God, this is gonna be so humiliating if I stall this thing at a red light or I roll back and I hit somebody. Oh God, this is gonna be so awful.
Bucking down the road like a bull.
Yeah. Yeah. Or grinding the, grind, ding, 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 grind. Son of a bitch, I can't get it into gear.
Well, after that episode with my dad, my friend Greg decided he would teach me. I miss Greg. Good egg. He was Spanish. But
Yeah.
he would be like, okay, sis, give it more gas. Okay, give it more gas. And then he'd be like, oh shit, slow down.
Not that much gas.
Yeah, he had this little Nissan, and I swear he probably needed a new clutch by the time he finished teaching me, but he was a much more patient teacher than my dad. So I thank Greg. He saved me on that one.
I think that's key, is that you have to have a very patient person when you're learning to drive a stick. And my dad was like, my brother had a standard shift car, so my brother was like, my brother didn't mind teaching me. My brother was really patient with me, and his friends were too. They took turns teaching me in different parts of the neighborhood, and it was nice. My mom did not know how to drive a stick, so whenever she had to leave for work, she always had to wake my brother up to move his car from behind hers. So that was always fun in the wintertime. She'd have to get him up and be like, move your car. I'm like, why don't you just park it behind Dad and stop parking it behind Mom so she doesn't have to keep doing this? And he goes, or she could learn how to drive a standard shift. I think she did know how to drive one at some point, but then, she had automatics for the rest of her life. So I just don't think she wanted to drive a stick again.
I got really mad at my son because I needed to drive his Corvette for something, and he looks at me seriously and he's like, can you drive a stick shift?
Oh, and I will hunt you down, son.
I was like, are you serious right now?
Yeah.
Them fighting words.
Can I drive a stick shift? Do we need to go outside? Do I need to take you out back?
Do I need to show you how to drive that car? Yeah.
Let me show you how to drive a stick shift properly.
Do you feel like you were good at the paper maps? Because I was horrible.
I was not good define good. I certainly couldn't fold one back up. If you want to watch my dad have an anxiety attack, hand me a map and tell me to fold it in front of him. They'd be like, oh my God, stop. I can't fold one. I don't enjoy reading those now, especially as an adult. I'm like, nope, don't fucking give me that. I relied on the AAA triptychs more than anything because they were a hell of a lot easier to navigate. Yeah.
I would just unfold it and be turning it and turning it and turning it, trying to figure out what direction we were going.
It looks like I kind of know what I'm doing, but really your brain's like, just keep doing this until somebody takes it from you.
And I can remember getting in a fight with my husband because I was not great at reading them. And I was like, I'm just going to walk home. And I throw the map at him and get out the passenger door and start walking. I was an hour from home, drive. But he was like, get back in the car. I'm like, no.
I still
finally
don't
got
like
back in the car.
I still don't like it in the days of GPS when I'm handed a map. Like, okay, tell me where I am. I'm like, look at the fucking GPS. I'm not GPS. Don't hand me the map and say, find me this, because that's not happening. I'm not doing that. And then don't get mad at me when I'm not doing it because I can't do it.
Today Siri was telling me turn around, because I passed where I was supposed to turn. Yeah. And that was ticking me off too. It was 30 times within 20 seconds. So
that doesn't bother me. If I'm traveling and I have to make a stop to get gas and, Google Maps is always trying to, okay, turn around to do this. That doesn't bother me because she'll just pick back up when I'm done fueling up. But Eric will go from 0 to 1,000 in anger inside of 10 seconds with the turn left here, turn around, make a U-turn. He's like, God damn it. I'm like, just turn it off. Just hit the X. Just hit the X. Just turn her down. I don't know what to tell you, but this is not a healthy level of anger to get at the GPS.
I think that's a man thing because mine does the same exact thing. And, back then, I would always stop at gas stations for directions. Yeah. And my dad, my grandpa, my husband, I never remember any of them stopping and asking for directions.
That is a dude thing.
Yeah.
That's
So
why that's a joke for a reason, because it's absolutely true. They
yeah.
will not stop for directions.
Yeah. I would stop quick. But then
Oh, I
like
would too.
when they would say go north, okay, just point.
What's this point? Straight, left, right. Do I turn right at the McDonald's? Like, just tell me. I have Google Maps because I have an Android phone, and I mean, I think iPhones have Google Maps. I don't know. I don't have an iPhone, so pardon my ignorance. And I think in the last year there was an update of some sort, because I notice now when she's giving me the directions, now she will literally say, past this next light, you're going to bear right onto the on-ramp. Go past the Arby's on the right, and then you will make the next right. And
Oh, it said that?
I was like, did somebody program Google Maps to be a woman? What is happening? Like, I'm fine. I like it, because instead of going, like, she'll still say in 0.2 of a mile, make a right. But now as it gets closer to it, she'll say, past this light, at the next light, make a right. Like,
I might have to start using Google Maps.
She's now being super, super descriptive. We were going somewhere, and she said, at the McDonald's, turn right at the next, or when you see the McDonald's, turn right. And I was like, what the hell? Did Google Maps just say that? Oh my God. Somebody programmed her as a woman. I appreciate that.
When my dad first bought the GPS when it first came out, he got pissed off because it was a man's voice, and he didn't like another man telling him where to go.
Telling him what to do.
Yeah. Like, I remember that set him off all the time. He wanted a female to tell him. He did not want a male to tell him where to turn.
I had the one that you put in it's got like a little, not like a hook, but a little flat piece. It slides, a metal piece that slides into the back, and then it suction cups to your windshield.
Yeah, that's what we had.
I had the Garmin. I had that
and
one.
And it plugged in your cigarette lighter.
Yep. For those vehicles who have cigarette lighters. But yeah, I had that, and then they upgraded, and I got a flatter, because the first one I got was like this big, it had a big old butt on it. It was like a big tube TV style. And then the next one I got was this little tiny flat one that you could actually keep in your pocket. But I had one of those. I actually still, if you go into my truck now and you open up the center console at the very bottom, that one is still in there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's still in there.
I loved them when they came out. I'm so grateful for navigation.
Do you remember when they had when they added the street view to them? So as you were approaching an exit, the split screen would show you the actual photo of the exit. I'm like, oh, that's so helpful. I love that.
It was amazing.
Yeah. And now navigation, now navigation is, while you're en route, you can tell it to find you a McDonald's or a coffee joint that's on your route. Before you couldn't specify. Now you can, where you're like, I'm going this direction, and it's like, find me a coffee shop on route in the way I'm going. Instead of taking you back 20 miles, it'll tell you, you can now program it to find you anything you need but it's on your path, so it doesn't take you off your route to get to where you're trying to go. I like that.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
How about, do you remember when gas prices like started with a 1?
I remember when they started they didn't start with a 1 at all. They started with a decimal point. Because I remember when they went up to like $1.05, and I'm like, that $1.05? That is ridiculous. I am 17. I do not have that kind of money. I have like $3. That'll get me half a tank of gas.
I know. I could have $5 and it would get me to school for a week or two.
Right? I think $5 would give me half a tank of gas on my Mustang.
I don't know. My truck did drink a lot of gas. Yeah, it really did. So
yeah, I remember rolling into a gas station and seeing $1.06, $1.07, and absolutely losing my shit. I don't have that kind of money. I have minimum wage. I make a minimum wage at my job, $3.35 an hour, and you want to charge me $1.06 for a tank of per gallon of gas? What have you lost your mind?
This is robbery.
That is insane. Let me count the change. Let me see what change I have.
Oh, I totally did that all the time.
Yep.
Yeah. We didn't have like all the little debit cards and shit. We had to count change.
You had to count change. There was no swiping, no digital. I mean, they turned digital as I got, later, early in my 20s. I think they got to be more digital gas pumps. But
Yeah.
remember the kind that had the arm on the side of it? Remember it had the
and
little
it had
metal
like
arm?
a wheel that would turn with all the numbers.
Yes. Yep.
Yep. We're getting old.
Well, at least we didn't get green stamps with them. I mean, we're not that old.
True.
Do you want green stamps with your gas? What? What are those?
And then I had to pump my own gas.
So now I've always grown up pumping my own gas. I've
Same.
always gone and been able to pump my own gas, but in New Jersey it's illegal to do that. Even today, it's illegal.
That's
So
wild.
I remember being told I couldn't pump my own gas, and I was like, "What the hell? No, what? No, that's silly. I can pump my own gas. Leave me the hell alone." Like, I got yelled at.
Oh, when I was like 16, I went to this party on FAMU campus, and I was driving home in a really bad part of town. And at like 3 o'clock in the morning, my car was running out of gas. And so I had to stop. When I tell you it was like the ghetto, it was like the scariest road, scariest stop in the whole town of Tallahassee. And there was a bunch of guys sitting out on chairs drinking beer with paper bags. And I get out and I'm pumping my gas. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. And this guy comes up to me and I swore he said, "Can I pump your ass?" And I said, "What the hell is wrong with you? Does your mother know you talk like that?" And everybody kind of stops and looks, and he goes, "Ma'am, I was just asking if I could help you pump your gas." And I said, "Oh my God, I thought you said pump my ass." And about 10 guys fell on the ground, rolling around, screaming, laughing. And it was like the most embarrassing moment of my life, probably up until that point.
So
And
you actually landed in a nice neighborhood.
they were awesome, and they probably still remember me because I've never seen people laugh that hard. Like, they literally fell out of their chairs and were rolling around on the ground laughing.
So
Yeah.
continuing on your tradition of not hearing things properly, song lyrics now, "Can I pump your gas?"
Yeah. Yep. That was so embarrassing.
I had, did you have the manual windows? My Mustang had manual
Oh, yeah.
windows. My Celica had manual windows. I did not have automatic windows until I got my 4Runner in 95, I think. And then I was like, "Oh, I press a button and the window goes down. And I have air conditioning now, too." And I had a CD player then, too.
The truck had like a pop-up sunroof. Like, it didn't open automatically. It was like a manual,
Yeah.
do a clip
Yeah.
and push it up,
Yeah.
And it would leak sometimes when it rained. So you'd be driving and just having water dripping on top of your head. It was horrible. Yeah.
Well, to be fair, I have been in airplanes that have had that at the because of the condensation. I boarded a flight last summer. I don't know if I was coming out of Savannah or Atlanta at that time, and on that flight. And I remember I boarded and I sat down, and then water started hitting me, and I was like, "What the hell?" And I looked up, and like other passengers were putting napkins over the air control
Dang.
thing because it was so hot, and all that condensation from the air conditioner running into the plane sitting in the sun and blah blah blah. I was like, "Is this going to do this the entire damn time? Because I don't like this. This is no fun."
That
But
would
it
be-
stopped. It stopped, but I was like, "Wow, I did not know that could happen."
I haven't flown a whole lot, but I know at least twice, like, the cabin is filled up with a mist that looked like smoke, and they said that was from condensation.
Yeah, can happen too.
That was kind of scary feeling. Yeah, I didn't like that.
Well, if you're not anything that you're not used to, and you're not used to flying a lot, or you just don't know what happens, then that's all of that stuff's scary. I used to be really terrified of flying, like really terrified of flying. Like, I had to be medicated and drugged. Like, I had to be drugged and boozed once I got on the plane. Like, I'll have that, and then I'll be good. Like, and I finally started following a lot of pilot and flight attendant YouTube channels, and following the pilot ones are great because they are really good for anxious flyers, and they explain everything. They explain everything, how the planes fly, what does this, what makes this noise, all of these things. So you would, if you have still that anxiety, you would benefit from that a lot.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But
Talking
yes,
about
they do.
traveling,
Yeah, you do get that condensation. So just in case you do get in a plane and it's dripping on you when you're bored, you're like, what the hell? It's condensation.
I mean, our cars did that too. I can
Uh-huh.
remember I had a car that the heater didn't work, and I thought, that's not a big deal. I live in Florida. Well, whenever the window would fog up, you also could not unfog it. So it was kind of
Oh,
a
I
big
had
deal.
my Mustang, the heater core broke. And so it constantly fogged up and I couldn't see out of it. It was awful. It was awful. Because like you
So
couldn't
you
defrost it.
understand.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. If it rained, oh, God, forget it. If it rained, I couldn't see shit. I'm like, I can't see. I can't drive because I can't see my window. And I had to keep rolling down windows to try to get something going so I could see. Because it would happen, while you're out driving and then it starts to rain. And all of a sudden your windows are getting foggy on the inside. And yeah, it was the heater core of mine. I don't know. It could have been the same thing in your car, but my heater core broke. And so therefore no defroster.
Did you take road trips with your parents?
When I was growing up, yeah, absolutely. We never flew.
I feel
As kids, we did not fly. We always did road trips. I love road trips to this day because of that.
well, we didn't have like the tablets or even like phones. And so
Books.
yeah, we would drive from Florida to Texas. We drove from Florida to Colorado, and we would sing like 100 bottles of beer on the wall and dumb stuff. I can remember my poor grandpa said, "Hey, Julie, let's play the quiet game," because he was tired of hearing me talk.
Let's play library.
Yeah, and then after a few minutes, I'd be like, "Did I win?" And
Nope, you just lost.
I used to think I was his favorite grandbaby, but I think I drove him crazy when he'd drive in the car too long with me.
That's so funny. We
and
drove all of our vacations. We drove.
that's cool. Yeah, we
And
played like
it was
Punch
books
Bug.
and Punch Bug. I remember my mom always used to pack a big bag of snacks. That was always, for whatever
Oh,
reason, when I was a little kid, whenever I saw her packing that bag of snacks, I'm like, yes, snacks.
I love travel
I did the whole
snacks.
Mr. Burns thing with the thing. Excellent. Like snacks. Like as a kid,
I
like
still do that.
seeing the, remember when Planters used to sell snacks in the containers, the blue containers,
yeah.
like with the cheese balls. We always had the cheese balls and she always had a big bag, 2 big bags of M&Ms, the peanuts and plain. Like she would make sub sandwiches. So we'd have sandwiches. Like the bag of snacks was my favorite part of car travel because I would pack like books. I would always have books or coloring books or puzzle books. We always had we did puzzle books. My brother and I didn't, we tried very hard not to annoy our parents. And my mom always had a book. So we didn't do singing or anything like that, but we always had things to entertain ourselves. But man, I remember that big bag of snacks. Loved the snacks. Car snacks were the best.
My parents didn't really pack that many, but we would stop places and get them, and that would make me happy. Like if they stopped to get gas, I knew I was going to get like a pack of candy or something, and life was good.
You're like, because snacks. Snacks.
Yeah.
Everything is founded on snacks.
Oh, one time I was driving and my son was smiling in the back seat, and I was like, "What are you thinking about?" And he was like, "Candy."
I'm making
So
a
I guess
mental
it
list of
passed
the
on.
snacks. I'm making a mental list of the snacks I'm going to get. I mean,
road trip snacks.
I mean, that's the thing that I am 54 years old and you ask me about car trips and my brain goes, bag of snacks.
Oh, I still pack all kinds of stuff.
I mean, the same thing when Eric and I travel. It's like, do you have the bag of snacks? He's preparing to go to Colorado for like the next month. And I'm like, don't forget you have that bag of snacks in the other room in the pantry. And he's like, I have a bag of snacks. I'm like, yeah, you have a bag of snacks in there.
They wouldn't last in my house. Especially
we have other snacks, but that's
like a whole bag.
That's like the specific road bag that he uses for snacks.
And we played I Spy all the time. Did you used to play that?
We did not do that.
No?
I don't know why, but no, we never. Like I know the game, but we never did that. We didn't. My brother and I just really entertained ourselves. Like we had our stack of books and puzzle games and things to do, so we were always entertained. My brother slept a lot. I didn't sleep that much. My parents will tell you to this day, every single night, even when I was a baby, when we would travel by car, they turn around and look, and they would just see big, giant owl eyes staring at them. My dad will do this with his hands. He's like, I look in that rear just big owl eyes staring at me. All the time, he's like, you never slept. He's like, even as he goes, even as a baby, we would look at. He's like, you look in the river, there's just big old owl eyes staring back at you.
Oh no!
So
I was either talking or sleeping. Talking or sleeping.
As I got older, I would sleep for sure. But yeah, my dad said when I was a baby, you just were always wide awake in the car. I slept when I was a baby at home. Like I always slept at home, but. Man, the minute you got me in a car, I was like, where are we going? I guess I was like, where are we going? What are we doing? Are there going to be snacks? Even as a baby, I was looking for snacks, probably.
You know that song, There's a Heartache Tonight?
Yeah.
My mom said
Eagles.
we were on a road trip. Yeah. And she said I was singing There's a Hard Dick Tonight. And she said she lost it. And I was like really little. Like... She said she couldn't. She was like, wait, what? So it started from like toddlerhood. Oh God, we're not gonna be able.
Oh God, my stomach hurts.
You're never gonna hear that song again the same.
Oh God, my stomach hurts. All right, pull it together.
I'm trying. I think I was like 4, 5. Started early on those.
Oh my God, did you ever?
Oh man.
And probably just singing it happily with a big old smile on your face.
Oh yeah. I had no clue, I'm sure of it.
Oh God.
Oh gosh.
Oh
yeah.
That just reminds me of the time we were in travel. We were going somewhere. My brother did something, and I called him a dildo.
What'd your
and my dad
say?
was like, "What did you say?" I was like, I don't know. I was like 8. I had no idea what it was. I just liked the sound of the word, and I knew it was like something bad to call somebody because I'm sure I heard it, but I had no idea what the hell it was. Oh my God, my dad was like, "What did you say?"
We should do an episode on the things we said we shouldn't have when we were little.
To this day, I remember. I was like, "Shut up, you dildo."
Don't you wish you had video of like their faces when we say this shit?
Oh my God.
Oh,
Jesus.
I'm surprised my mom didn't run off the road. I would get her laughing so hard. Like her eyes would be shut while she was driving. And she would be like, stop making me laugh. And I'd like we were just doing. I made her laugh like that all the time while she was driving. And like I would go try to sit in the back of the van to like make her be able to hold it together. Otherwise, she was like swerving all over the road with her eyes shut, laughing. Like it was horrible. I did that to her probably like once a month. I had her laughing that hard.
I have to.
Oh gosh.
I have to control myself now when I drive with some of my friends because I do the same thing, and I don't do it intentionally. It's just things hit people's funny bones in different ways.
Oh, yeah.
But I had the same thing, and my friend was like, "I'm gonna wreck. Please stop. I can't see."
You're like, I can't help it.
Like, I'm sorry. I didn't realize I was that hilarious.
I had to pull over one time. Usually I can like hold it together when other people are making me laugh, but there was this morning show in Orlando. It was called like Monsters of the Midday. And they were talking about things to call vaginas. And they were like taco and all these like things. Well, it was Larry the Cable Guy. You know who he is,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He said hatchet wound. And I don't know why, but it just made me laugh so hard. I had to pull off the road and like get my composure to calm down to drive again because it just caught me so off guard. I don't know.
There are some things, and that's in daily life, right? There are just some things that hit you off guard, even things that you might have heard repeatedly, that you hear them. You might have heard it 100 times, and you'll hear it this one time. It'll just hit you. And I had that happen the other night. I was making dinner, and I always stream Mystery Science Theater, and I've been streaming the Mike episodes, and they were doing, I think it was Starfighters, and I don't know why. I've heard it 100 times. I've heard it over and over and over, and sometimes it either just didn't land or it didn't hit me. But he was the guy in the movie was making a phone call, and then he was basically shot down by this other Air Force guy, and he hangs up, and Mike goes, "Doe," but he did it like in a weird affect and a weird accent that sounded like a cross between Liberace and Homer Simpson combined. And it was very deadpan, and the way he said it hit a nerve in me so hard I laughed for 5 fucking minutes.
Yeah, I get it.
And I was just like, I've heard it over and over and over again, but this time it just hit me in such it hit my ear in such a way that I could not stop laughing. It was hilarious.
I think we need more of that in our life.
I agree. Yeah. I absolutely agree. And I find that a lot with that show, that because it's one of my comfort shows, but I find that a lot with when I can watch the same movie that they're riffing over and over and over, and I'll hear something differently than I heard it the first time, and it'll hit me. I will go into just fits of laughter. It's an unexpected landing of a joke that is just like, holy shit, that is so fucking funny.
What about if we had to take a Gen X driver's test? What all do you think would be on there?
Parallel parking, maneuverability.
For sure. Learning directions without GPS, like maps or...
Yeah.
They definitely need to learn how to drive a stick shift.
Do they even make cars that are standard shift anymore? That's a legit question that I'm asking.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Money floating around somewhere. Like I have in the bottom of so I've got the two like captain's chairs style seat. I mean, they're not captain's chairs, but they're the two passenger or front seats. And then in the middle, I've got a console, but that console moves back and forth depending on where you're moving the seat. And then underneath that console that connects to the bottom of the dash, there's a flat tray. And in that flat tray, I just keep change. For no apparent reason, I keep quarters for when I go to Aldi, but there's just change in there. Yeah, there's always change in there.
It used to be ashtrays. Now, like, cars don't really have ashtrays, so it's like whatever cubby or cup holder.
Yes, it did. Yes, it used to be ashtrays. I would keep my change or like a folded up dollar or something in an ashtray. Because we always had quarters for the payphones.
Oh yeah,
yeah. You always had a quarter for the payphone when you were driving. Yeah, yep.
We had a baby. It's a boy. Yeah.
It's Bob. We had a baby. It's a boy. Yeah. Let's see. So yeah. Cracked windshield.
Oh yeah.
Cracked windshield.
Replacing
a windshield back then, I don't think was quite as easy as it is now.
No, now you just call Safelite and they come to your house and do it.
Right.
And then a lot of the cars had rattles, and in high school, a lot of the guys that had speakers, they would want their car to rattle to show they had bass. Like, it would annoy me.
Yeah, I don't like that. I remember having a speaker that I blew out and it buzzed.
Oh, I hated that sound.
Yeah.
I did that too.
I hated that. And I was like, oh, I got to replace that speaker. And every single time I was like, oh, I got to replace that speaker. Oh, I got to replace that speaker every fucking time.
They need to know how to like pop their radio front off and lock it in their glove box within a short amount of time.
I had a Pioneer, and it was the same thing. You pop that corner off, and then had a little carrying case too. So you put it in the case and put it in the glove box, because the thief will never check the glove box. But I also would lock the glove box because I'm smart.
Or when you get out what were those things called you put on your steering wheel? Like
The club. The club.
Yeah, the club was really popular. I remember that.
Yeah. I remember. I didn't
Yeah.
have one. I didn't have a car anybody wanted to steal. So I was like, somebody wants to take the Mustang. Good luck starting it. It might start, might not. And then you might make it 500 yards down the road. I don't know.
And then you just laugh at them. Ha ha ha.
Yeah. I'd be like, nope, that's yours now. That is your problem now. I'm done. Yeah. So I never had a club. Even when I had the Celica, I didn't have a club. And the Celica was my first car that had an airbag.
I didn't have the club either.
Yeah. You have to have a vehicle worth
I did have the
stealing.
radio front that came off though.
Yeah.
And then you'd have to know how to drive while looking through your CD pages.
Yes. The big book of CD. Oh, what do I want to listen to now? Yeah. Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there was anything else that would be different now.
I know that there were some cars that had the thing you plugged in the adapter so you could listen to, was it CDs or tapes? I think maybe they did both. They had them for each thing. Like, I never had one because I always had, like, the very first thing I did when I got the Mustang was I was like, well, we need a stereo. We need a new stereo system. And it doesn't matter if the car sucks. We need a new stereo system.
Yeah.
Because I got to be able to play cassettes.
Now we need CarPlay. Yeah.
I have Android Auto on my phone, but it doesn't Bluetooth to my truck. It connects via USB cord, and 95% of the time it works just fine. But every now and then while I'm driving, it'll just be like, no connection. I'm like, what the? It's plugged in. What the hell? What do you mean no connection? But the one connection is kind of loose, I think. I don't really know what the issue is, but I'm like, son of a bitch. And then while I'm driving in total silence, I'm like, that's got to work. I need my Spotify back up. And you better figure out your shit. And I'm unplugging it, plugging it. Like, I'm doing the whole 9 yards until it just fucking gets its shit together.
So the Apple, I think they make their chargers only last a certain amount of time. So the cords will go bad anytime that starts happening.
Shitty.
I just buy a new cord. I really feel like it because they just don't seem to last.
Yeah. No, my Android cords, I've never really had. I think we got a new one for that, but I don't know what the issue is with that. Sometimes it just is just like, nah, I don't feel like connecting. And it's just a quick plug it in, plug it, take it out, plug it back in and redo it. I will be damned if I'm listening to terrestrial radio. Fuck that noise. And it wouldn't come back on until I pulled over somewhere and fully stopped, turned off the car, and turned it back on. I had to completely hard restart the XM. I don't know why it did that. And then in my Highlander, I had XM as well, and I had the units that plugged in kind of behind and underneath your dashboard, and it got so fucking hot when I was at work one day, it fried the wires. It melted the wires to the XM radio.
Oh.
I'm not even fucking kidding.
No, I believe you.
I went to leave my office. I'm like, what? No, what is this? Now I have to drive home, and I gotta find a terrestrial station to listen to. I think it was, I found a Royals game to listen to. I was like, I can at least listen to baseball because I like baseball. I'm like, I can at least listen to a Royals game. That's fine. That'll keep me entertained. I will not listen to terrestrial radio because it fucking sucks. And I got home, and I remember I was like, my XM just crapped out. I don't know what the hell happened to it. And he got on and he looked at it and he goes, holy shit. And I go, what? He goes, the wires melted.
That's hot.
I said, it was pretty fucking hot. And he's like, yeah, it melted the wires.
We also, now my car will tell me, you can go 30 miles before getting gas. You can go 14 miles. We didn't have that.
So we have a Dodge diesel Ram. It's a dually, and it has that. We usually take that when we travel because it's like driving the living room, so I love that. And when I'm driving it, it'll be like, you have 330 miles left on this tank. I'm like, sweet. My truck doesn't do that. I still drive in the, how far can I go with a gas light on?
Yeah, and for legal reasons, we don't recommend you doing that.
Sure, yeah. I don't know. I have a hybrid too, so I'm like, well, it's a hybrid. I'll get, and I'm in the city, so it'll be fine. Like I really do stretch it out. I've gotten to the point now where we're like, once it hits a quarter tank, I'm like, all right, you've got to get gas. And I'm like, well, I got to run these errands with a local. It'll be fine.
You were the one that said, how do you run out of gas with money in your pocket? But it
Right.
sounds like you might do that.
But I won't, because I will get, like, I know how many miles to the gallon my truck gets.
Yeah.
And I have it, I always reset my odometer whenever I fill up on, for that tank. And then it also gives me on my display in my truck, I can go to, I can go to, when I refill, I can go to my fuel, the efficiency, and it'll tell me there as well how much I get. So I already know how many it's getting to the tank and per gallon. So I can do that math in my head where I'm like, well, this is how much I have left, so I can go 26 miles before I need gas. I don't ever do that. It's just a fun game where I'm like, how far could I go? But I will always get gas before I run out. I've never run out of gas with money in my pocket ever.
Hey,
But
knock on wood.
because I only drive kind of in the city when the fuel light's on, I'm like, well, there's a million gas stations around here. I'll get gas. It's fine. When I'm traveling, as soon as it hits a quarter of a tank, as soon as it hits a quarter of a tank when I'm traveling, I'm like, oh, gotta get gas. I could go another 100 miles on that quarter of a tank, but my brain's like, nope, we're getting gas right fucking now. So I have two different mindsets when it comes to that.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess that's pretty much the outline of our show.
No airbags, no GPS. We had to buy cup holders.
Oh,
yeah.
All the cars had ashtrays.
If we got lost, we either drove around till we were like, oh, that looks familiar, or we found a gas station that we could ask directions in for if we were chicks, like women. I don't know. I'm not going to say that dudes did that, because the ones that I know did not.
I wish we would have had that stuff growing up. Like, I will say, like, the kids today have it much easier, but I do think it was character building, and I do think we're survivors. And if there's a zombie apocalypse, we can drive any truck or do whatever. We'll be fine.
Vehicles have a backup camera, mine included. And I use it usually to see when I'm backing out of a parking space, so I can see what's coming, behind the two vehicles that are next to me, so I can see that. But I don't use it when I'm actually physically, like, backing out of my driveway or something like that, because I use my mirrors. I don't ever want to lose that skill. I don't want to I don't want to rely on that because it's there. It's there as a help. It's not there as something that tells you I don't have to use my mirrors anymore.
We got to be able to live without machines if we have to.
Right. I like having it. I've been in vehicles, like, I've rented vehicles where they have that thing where it beeps at you if you're getting too close to something. Oh God, I hate that. I'm like, I can fucking see. Thank you. No,
Yeah.
I'm like 10 feet away from it. Calm the fuck down. Stop beeping at me.
While it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's absolutely screaming at you. It does that now. It does that with seatbelts too.
Mine has braked on its own a couple of times. That's fun.
Oh, you got one of them newer cars.
It's a 2017, but that shit'll see a shadow and try to hit the brakes.
Yeah. No, I don't.
Yeah.
Well, we know a couple people who've got vehicles like that, and I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like that.
I'm kind of shocked at the self-driving cars now. I mean, I want that. I want to be like 90 years old and be able to still just get in my car and be like, take me to my doctor's appointment, because, my ass ain't gonna be able to see or hear or anything. So that'll be good. But it just scares me, the idea of getting in a car and not being in control. That's terrifying. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you get in a plane and you don't have control, but there's a human.
Again, terrifying.
There are humans up there, but the plane is mostly being flown by autopilot. It's taking off and landing with human, and that's the two most dangerous times. So I hope that made you feel better.
I just drank a margarita or two.
That probably didn't help your flight anxiety at all, did it?
You know what? I'll go to the bar in the airport and drink like a margarita, and then I'm good. Now, if I have two, it's too much, because I asked a guy, how did he chop off his fingers? And then I said, you're not an engineer, are you? And he said, actually, I am, because he said he had picked up a lawnmower and the blade
with the blade. Yeah, with the blade spinning.
Yeah, and he said the blade chopped off all his fingers. And so I was like, oh, okay. Well, then by the time I sobered up, I apologized the rest of the flight and we were best friends. But I've never drank more than one drink after that before getting on a plane because
Yeah.
that was kind of, I was like,
I can't.
oh, I am so sorry.
Yeah, I can't drink a lot only because I got to pee every 5 seconds now on a plane because the pressure, and you're like, oh my God, I don't have to pee this much when I'm on the ground, but it's the pressure. And
I feel like I'd be like that one lady, that's not real. Do you remember? She got
yeah, I remember that. I remember that video.
2 drinks and I'm going to act like that.
I hope she's on a no-fly list somewhere. I really do. I hope a lot of people are on a no-fly list. But
or
yeah,
like Bridesmaids.
Yeah. There's a lady on the wing of the plane. She's in colonial garb. She is churning butter. Somebody I just saw in one of my Delta Sky Miles groups that they got their new medallion tags. And so when you get medallion tags, you can personalize them. So mine have, you can put whatever you want on there. I have mine are personalized. And somebody did help me, I'm poor on theirs. But Delta doesn't do contractions. So it says, help me, I am poor. He was like, they don't do contractions. So I had to do it this way.
It's still funny.
It is funny. It doesn't matter.
I love stuff like that. Come to the Facebook page. Let us know if you have ideas, and
tell us what your first car was, and if you learned to read a map, or if you know how to fold a map properly. I want to know, because if you can learn if you know how to fold a map properly, I want you to come to my house and fold all my fitted sheets.
Yeah, because I'm not good at that either.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.